Okay. So it's working. All right. It's working. There we go. Already. All right. Try to keep it. Hey, Jay, thank you for joining me. James, thank you for joining me. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome so much. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glenlyn, thank you for joining me. Smooth. Well, no, actually, I'm in a pretty bad mood, but I'll get to that in a minute. So, this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. A Wind is timeless. Timeless. I am the Hero Twin activated. I am the holder of the continuous ball game of the Hero Twins. It all starts with a gentle sadness. I am your galactic daddy-o, sitting on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And yes, I am not in a great mood today for a couple of different reasons. Now, you tell me how you feel. You have the over and under being 3. Over and under being 3. With the glorious Minnesota Wild winning the game. There were 9 goals, which crushed my over and under. No. Yes, had to be. Yes. We had a 4-1 lead coming out of the third period. Going into the third period, 4-1. 4-1. and we end up losing to the Vegas team in overtime. Very pissed about that. Shattered me. The one, Aggie Pride, Mr. T Gaming. So I'm in a bad mood. I'm in a very bad mood. Then the second part is who watched Super Sly's show this evening? If anybody watched Super Sly's show, did you see how they humiliated me? Not one of them acknowledged the YMCA. Neat breed. Did you notice that? Not one of them endorsed the YMCA. Despite the fact that Nick Taylor sends secret payments to me, and I know he endorses the YMCA. But today, all of them just ignored. So you don't have to get the pokes, and you don't have to go to a FEMA camp. You can go to the YMCA. Now, let me tell you another story that you guys may not know. Do you know that Godzilla attacked America? At one time, Godzilla attacked America. And do you know what happened? All the YMCAs came like the Transformers. Did you know that YMCA buildings are really Transformer buildings? They all transformed into these big megalithic Transformers, and they fought Godzilla away. Do you know that America was hit by an atom bomb one time? And once again, the YMCA Transformers saved the day. So Super Sly, Truth Teller, he supported me too. Let me tell you, I called Truth Teller and I said, Truth Teller, they closed my local YMCA. I said, I don't know what to do about it. He said, why don't you buy it? I had never thought about that. So Truth Teller, thank you for your support, because you put the spark in me that said I could continue. So I bought the YMCA. That's how active I am in my community. And all I wanted them to say is, if you're in trouble, you can go to the YMCA. We got two people on the panel that could have said this, and they didn't say it. So I'm busting them out now, and I'm hot about it. Now, Nick was in the service. He knows that the YMCAs can transform into these big buildings that protect America. Let me tell you guys, there's two things I do when I wake up. I smell America. I wake up in the morning, smells like I'm in America. I mean, I've been in Mexico and fell out and been drunk, and, you know, I could I'm not in America. So I know America, how it smells. So I'm in America. And the next thing I do is I remotely check on my YMCA building. Every morning I get up and I go swim 15 laps in my YMCA pool. Every morning, don't miss it. And you know what happens when I get done? I get to go into my YMCA hot tub. Now, I don't let other people in other than my daughter and a few close friends, because people kind of get on my nerves, but it's still there. And if I like you, I'll let you come in. I mean, it is mine. You know, I don't have to let everybody in. I don't just, let anybody in. But I let most people in free of charge. Well, they have to pay for their own coffee and hot cocoa. I figure if you can come in and work out and use my exercise equipment, at least you could pay for the hot cocoa. Oh, and I charge them $1 for the towels. And I do charge for the locks. Yeah. If you don't have your own lock, I'll loan you a lock for I don't know. It just depends how you look. And that's how I loan people locks. So Super Sly, your guys support me. And all I wanted you to do is just acknowledge that the YMCA exists. That's all you had to do, is just say, hey guys, the YMCA could be alternative to the FEMA camp or getting a poke. Now, all you people out there are worried about chemtrails, go into your YMCA. Anything, it'll block anything. Again, this country got hit by bombs. YMCA stood up and blocked all the bombs. Long as there are YMCAs, America is protected. You guys didn't know that. What do you think they made that movie about with the giant robots coming, What was that movie called where the giant robots, the brother from Star Wars, he was in the last one about the giant robots? That was really a movie about the YMCAs. You guys didn't realize that? Those were a movie about the YMCAs. The giant robots that fought the dinosaurs they was really showing you the history of the YMCA. Maybe nobody's told you guys that, but that's the history of it. That was really the giant robots was the YMCA's. Oh, I'm just having fun. What exactly does the United States smell like obesity? People get on my nerves too. That's why. There you go. See, Pacific Rim. Well, I didn't like the rim part, but that was about YMCA's. I'm just having fun. And we're drinking Wonderland. I've waited all day to drink this bad boy, and it's 7.5 alcohol. So, oh, there's the dirty glass. Pour them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. Oh, so I've just been having fun all day, and that's all I do is I just have fun, guys. I just have fun. I think just a little bit of comedy, corny. And I was watching Richard Pryor. I probably shouldn't smoke Gorilla Glue, splatter while watching Richard Pryor. It just gets me motivated to tell jokes all night. How is everybody? I hope everybody is smooth. I hope everybody is smooth. I am smooth today. It was a beautiful day up here. The weather was really nice. Got to, my children are like hard mugs to coordinate. So I tell one and tell the others. And then by the time we drive in the city, it's like the coordination was all messed up. But the coordination was perfect. My son got this big Vizio 4K 1080, whatever. And we was like watching Ghost in the Shell. And I was sitting there, and this is what you have to understand. When you're watching Ghost in the Shell, it shows you flat Earth. That is a show that shows you flat Earth. I almost want to say that in some ways, even the designers, because again, flat Earth doesn't have up or down, but it has, you can stack on top and it has below. And I know that may sound confusing, but that's the only way I can describe it. But it's full illusion. It's full on illusion. So what they've done is they've taken this flat plane, they've added illusion to it, and they can put us in the illusion. And, I mean, that's what it is. Hey, Unique. Hey, Ryan. Oh, so we were watching that and the boom and the bang, and it was just kind of cool because this is something I don't do. Like my son was down here a few weeks ago. He wanted to watch, like his mother and all them, they watch movies. I can't sit to watch a damn movie. And if the movie ain't shit, I'm out of there. I'm all around the house just to sit down and watch a movie, especially if I don't like it. I just can't do it. But for them and their mother, that's kind of a bonding. And I look at it as a bonding thing for all of them, but I just can't do it. Even when I would watch movies with them, I would have my phone on one thing. I would have my computer on something else. So I'm watching and I'm watching whatever the movie is. So I'm watching all this at the same time. I just can't just watch a movie. But that's their way of bonding. So it was cool seeing my son. My son was unshaven and he looked like me. It reminds me, my hair used to be brown. Years ago, my hair was brown. And it's the exact same color. And seeing him at that age, the brown hair, it's like I would look so ridiculous if I dyed this black. Like you know, they act like it's only jet black dye for brothers. But I would look just as silly if I dyed it brown now. I mean, it just wouldn't look natural for a cat that's going to be 60 in some months. I guess it would be like I would be wearing the brown and you would look at me and I would look at you and you're like, well, this mug is 60. Hey, where's the pancakes and the hockey puck sausage? No, where's the pancake and hockey puck sausage? Oh, I don't want a veggie dip. I sent you to the store to get pancakes and hockey puck sausage.
Yeah, Alzheimer's, don't you say that every time?
What happened? How did you come back with veggie dip instead of pancakes and hockey puck sausage? I don't get that. How much money did you bring back? I just don't understand that. Didn't I give you a note? You remember like when you used to send children, remember you would send your children to get you some cigarettes or some liquor and you'd give them the note? I even gave him a note. He did not come back with my pancakes or my hockey puck sausage. McDonald's, you know why McDonald's sells pancakes and hockey puck sausage all day long? because I petitioned them for like 10 years. I was like, look, most of your food is nasty as hell, but you make good pancakes and hockey puck sausage. So concentrate on that. And now you can go there almost anytime and you can get your own pancakes and hockey puck sausage. Now, I don't know why I gave him money to get me pancakes and hockey puck sausage. He comes back with a half-eaten vegetable tray. Does that make sense to y'all? I mean, I'm a little disappointed. Vegetable tray. I'm looking for pancakes and hockey puck sausage. I mean, just the idea of having that, and the butter melts, and then I put all of it together and just like make a sandwich. But instead, he tries to take a drink of my beer after not picking up my pancakes and hockey puck sausage. Wouldn't you guys be a little upset? And he's in my fridge eating more of my food after not buying me what I asked for. Any good flavored beer or wine? This is more of a hazy. I'm not really a wine person, but this is a hazy. Hey, what's up, Mark? They unsubscribed me from you, and I had to go to Slide Page just to find you again. Wow, well, thank you. Thank you. I'm still growing a beard yet, and I don't think I will.
Your account got deleted. That's probably what it was.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been when it got deleted.
Yeah, no. They deleted your account, too.
What the hell happened over there? I still have grown a beard. I still have grown a beard yet, and I don't think I will. You rock the grays. Thank you, Shadow. No, not hockey puck sausage. Yeah, he messed up. I can't. This is like the third. One of my friends came over.
Are believing you?
One of my friends came over here, and she did the same thing. My daughter and I was on her. My daughter was really on her. My daughter was on her like a bulldog. He was lying, and we sent her to the store to get pancakes and hockey puck sausage. I gave her $300 because she needed a bill paid. You know what this chick came back with? This chick came back with a box of damn live lobsters and some snow crab legs. So my daughter comes out here with me, and she's like got her mouth all ready for McDonald's pancakes and hockey puck sausage. And this chick is coming from Hy-Vee and has live damn lobsters. And so my daughter was disappointed. Like, I think many of you would be just as disappointed if you were waiting for McDonald's pancakes and hockey puck sausage and somebody brings you live lobsters. I mean, you would be a little perplexed. I was very perplexed and didn't understand. And then this is the thing. She goes into my kitchen. She opens the damn thing up of the live crabs. The crabs are jumping off the damn counter, or the lobster. They're jumping off the counter. And then she's telling me she's not going to pick the damn lobsters up. How did you bring them in the house? And then she tells us she don't even know how to cook them. And I'm like, well, why would you buy lobster if you don't know how to cook lobster? Yes, they don't get it right. Chick don't even know how. So finally, my daughter got one of my samurai swords, and I cooked hot water. I've got lobsters going everywhere. This chick done jumped up here on this table. She's up on the table. She done brought these damn things in my house. So my daughter gets my samurai sword, and she stabs all the lobster, and she stuck them in the hot water. And we ate it all. Now, I'm not going to say we didn't eat it all, but we ate it all. But still, it's nothing like pancakes and hockey puck sausage. But see, I'm failed again. Failed again. That's right, Shadow. You just can't send them anywhere. How you going to come back? I send you to buy me something, and you're going to eat half of it. Like, he doesn't like pancakes, and he doesn't like hockey puck sausage, so there's no worries of him eating. That's why I like sending him to the store, because he won't eat it, because he don't like it. But he brings the veggie tray, half eaten at that. Now, everybody knows if you see somebody double dip in a veggie tray, it ruins it. You just don't have the enthusiasm to follow him, especially in these hard times. I don't care if he lives with me or not. It's just like, I see you double dip. No, I'm not doing that. So it ruins it for me. So I could be having some good veggies, guys, but no, he has to double dip. And I think his finger went in there too. It looked like his fingerprint was in the dip. So I don't know how you do that. Well, hello, everybody. I'm in a great mood tonight. having a good time, in a great mood, and everything. Every day is great, really. Yeah, we'll be good there for a minute. But well, did lose money on the wild, so very disappointed in that. But other than that, everything has been groovy. I mean, everything is really, really coming together. All kind of plans that I've been doing and things. And actually, we are trying to buy the YMCA building. We might get some help. And this is just not joking. It looks like I'm going to get some help from Mystic Lake because it's on their property, and it looks like they do want someone to operate it. So looks like I might have stepped into something, y'all. So that's kind of cool because they are the ones that originally gave the property. The YMCA pulled out of that spot for some reason, and so they're willing to sell it. So it looks like that is a great possibility. I'll let you know how that goes because they have all the classrooms and everything. I was trying to get this other building, but it was a lot more. But this might work out. So you had to throw a lot of different things. So we'll see how it goes, guys. We'll see how it goes. Not a whole lot in the world with all up here. As I was saying yesterday, I really want people to understand again about don't get caught up of leaving your body. You know, don't get caught up in that. Again, you can move through without taking that drastic step. So don't give up on your spirituality. Don't let that stop you. And don't get just hung up on that aspect of it. Get into the aspect of loving self. And it's like I'm going to help my father. My father's going through a little dementia. And one thing that you really have to emphasize for yourself, and I learned this, and I'm going to be honest, one of my cousins had a stroke, and he was given the medicine, and this was 15 years ago, if not longer. Yeah, about 20 years ago. He was given the experimental medicine where if you give a stroke victim this medicine quick enough, he will retain a lot. Now, over a 10-year period, I watched my cousin go down, but I'm saying it took those 10 years. But one thing I learned from him, I stayed with him 1 week, and he did almost everything the same every day. And it taught me like when I come into my house, I put my keys in the same place. I put my wallet in the same place. I hang my coats up. And that is a great way to, well, first of all, you got to know yourself. And so when you know yourself, you know where you put things. So you'll never go looking for things because, again, you know yourself. But doing certain things repetitively does help your overall routine. And watching someone in that condition, another thing I'm going to do with them, and I've done this with my daughter since she was a little girl, and this is really the way I was helping her telepathy, working on my telepathy. But what I would do is, do this. What hand's it in? Well, in a person that's kind of suffering dementia, you show it to them, and then you say, what hand is it in? Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to work on that short-term moment. And so you show it to them, and you say, what hand? They don't get it, it's okay. You show it to them again. What hand? And if they get it, then go to the other hand. And it starts, and with the, I'm going to send him some Motivite as well. And working with the Motivite, you do these kind of things. And any of you, if you think you suffer from these kind of things, Motivite is because of the fullerness, is one of the one crystals that really connect neurons back together. And I think I said this last night, when I wore two pieces, I felt way brighter when I just wore the one. I mean, I could just feel that I lost, you see that just spit everywhere. I could just feel that I was a little brighter when I wore both pieces. So I'm going to send that to my father. I have a teammate up in North Dakota I have to send one to and want to start journaling this and sharing this. But these are just simple things. Hey, normalizing. Okay, well, thank you. JJ Watt to Arizona. If anybody watched my other channel, you saw my channel about JJ. JJ's washed up. And it's not that he's so much, well, it's just he has taken a beating. And after you take a beating, it erodes the skills. like when he played last season, not this past season, the season before, he was injured most of the season. And then he came back for playoffs and them last few games, and his effort just wasn't there. You remember I did the video like going, come on, JJ, just showed his effort just wasn't there. Now, again, it's all scripted, but again, if they say go get him, JJ, they got to stop. Like the Stafford pass, Stafford threw. Now think about it like this on fixing. Stafford throws him a pass on the first play of the game. The only play JJ could really make. And so they throw it to JJ, and of course JJ gets the touchdown, which was all scripted. So what's it called? My mom suffers from dementia as well. When was the last time JJ went to the Super Bowl? Exactly. It's called Motivite. I'll show you the spelling in here. But they sell, like they don't just sell this bigger piece. Like my son has a smaller piece. I've given my other son a smaller piece. My daughter even has a smaller piece. So I'm going to start him off with a smaller piece. This stuff is fairly strong. Oh. Don't know where the box is. But it's in here somewhere. But I mean, those are just some, like what you start doing these exercises too. So it's not like you start to train the mind. And this is the spelling. This is the spelling. And you don't need a piece that's about a $500 piece. You don't need it that big. And you chart 6 weeks. You chart 6 weeks. And that will tell. And then you go 6 weeks again. And then again, that is why even right now, you really have to, and I know this sounds robotic, but first of all, if you get sleep apnea, if you get that, get the equipment that helps you breathe. Because you can get dementia from snoring too much. That is one reason why people get on it, is because they snore too much. Because what happens is through the snore, you're not breathing and you're not getting enough oxygen. And we spend so much time sleeping. So take care of that for number one. And then the second thing is the Motivite treatment. I've been working with it about five years. I can tell, even like if I don't wear it, like this is perfect to speak and everything, because it really is connected to me where I get tongue tied and then the words will come out. You hit that like button. Well, thank you, the one. Okay, Shells. That's okay, Shells. It worked for me day one, but that was it. Oh, it only worked for you that one day? Okay. I bought a few pieces a few years ago. It worked for me for day one, but that was it. Where did you get it from? That's what I would say. Where did you get it from? But if you got a reputable dealer and they had, like, if you just got little pieces, yeah. But the thing is keep it in your pocket, carry it on you. If you don't wear it in the locket, carry it on you. But see how it helps your memory. See how it helps your memory, Shadow. See how it helps your memory. But you got to carry this stuff. You can't just give it one day, baby. It takes time. You're putting your keys away, wallet, the same spot. Would you say that's ritual? Well, it's ritual in this aspect. Anytime you're about to leave out of a door or you're coming in, you have to hesitate. You have to hesitate to kind of break the coffin bond that the eight-sided door holds. So in that regard, I do that everywhere I go. So, but like my keys have a very common place. I guess you could say that, but I'm just saying it's just a memory thing. I think it's more that. It's more, and what the best thing about it is when you lose things, when you know yourself, you know where you would put it. And then so you're never in the panic of going around the house looking for shit. That's my point. So I don't know if you can tie up a lot of ritual with that. You putting away yours. So I don't know, Lorenzo. I don't know. Hey, I can still pop in and support you. I'm working 50 hours. Good for you. And now usually sleepy by now, but rocking tonight. Well, thank you, Jared Smooth. That is so kind. Thank you for those kind words. I appreciate it. Thank you. You say anything. You can say anything as a ritual. Oh, that's okay, Sebastian. Kinda. And so in that regard, yeah, the way I enter out of doors is for a ritual. It's to break spells. But just placing them in ramp, placing them in the same spot. I mean, I guess you could, but again, it'd be your intention. If that's your intention to enchant that, because let's be honest, a person could cheat and make that an enchantment. And so you like remember the movie Remote, where he was making love to his wife and everything. I guess you could remote control that kind of thing and make that an enchantment. But the enchantment going to wear off, and it really is not helping your short-term memory. Again, I asked my father about things. Eating the hot sauce?
No.
I was talking to my father about things from 60 years ago, 70 years ago. He can still remember.
You don't need this?
No, that's mine. Put that up.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
That's it.
Yeah. Your mom says. Your mom says that's who. So, what's the best sports league? I'm not sure. I got some small pieces from reputable dealer. My issue with crystals, it opens up my spirit to be more of a warm person. Bad parts, toxic people tend to try to latch on to me. Interesting. So it opens you up, and maybe you think that the toxic people come in. Okay. But program the crystals, like especially the Motivite. Tell the Motivite what you need it for, and then carry them. Carry them. Yeah. So carry them. Carry one or two in your pocket all the time, or your purse. Carry it near you, and give it 6 weeks. And again, to see if your memory gets any better. What is the best sports league? Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. Just depends on what you like. I love hockey. Just joined the Galactic Patio, ready for some knowledge. Okay, Smoke Toe. Hey, what's up, Samuel? Hope all is well. Thank you. It is. I worked over 50 hours last week. I am tired. I bet you are. I bet you are. Hey, thank you, PJ. I bet you are tired. That's some humping. I remember my brother was working at his peak. He was doing 80 hours a week. He was doing like doubles almost every day. He was getting in some 80 hours, but he was knocking down 100 and some a year for a bunch of years. But yeah, it was nothing for him to do 16. That was one thing about police work. I mean, I did 26, 27 hours one night. So it's not very hard to work. I get deep in my meditation last night. I felt like floating on clouds. It was nice. That is cool. That is really cool. That is really cool. That is really cool. I had some nice meditations today too. I did a little bit earlier, sunny, and like most of the time I meditate at night. But this is one example where I did meditate during the day, and it's very nice, very nice. Very nice meditation. And when I get done here, I'll probably meditate as well. And here in the city, they're bracing up. They're bracing up for Floyd and all that. They're bracing up for that stuff. They got troops moving in, and it's just going to be interesting. It's going to be a small army back up in here again for this Floyd stuff. So, and I don't think people should be disappointed if he gets away with murder. I think that's kind of like the American expectation. So, and we know what drums are going to be beating. Because remember, when they was waiting for Uncle Imbecile to win, and the drums of this dissension was going to be beaten. What do you call? Woke says, why do I call Hardin a globetrotter? Oh, yeah, the trial. Yeah, the trial. Woke says, why do I call Harding a globetrotter? His peak years, it was dribble, 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 dribble. And they got on Carmelo Anthony for playing that game. But Harding did the same thing. Dribble, 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 dribble. take steps, get fouled, get 20 free throws a game like Dwayne Wade against Dallas. That was his game. Remember basket manipulation shots. And then he want to blame Chris Paul. He want to blame, what was number 12's name, the big dude, Dwight Howard. He just got rid of Westbrook. I don't know why they thought him and Westbrook was going to work. So he plays a lot of globetrotter basketball as his role. So that's why I call him that. The Camels fight on the weekend looked rigged as hell. Either was rigged or the other guy was that trash. The Camels fight on the weekend looked rigged. There's such a thing as riot fatigue. That's my question. All the protesters, folks. That's funny. The Canelo fight on the weekend looked rigged to say, oh, okay, Canelo. Oh, yeah, okay. But I tell you, I watched the fight Saturday, and it was on kind of late, was the dude on Fox. He looked sharp, but the Cats just wasn't really punching. The other dude, he came on a little bit at the end, but it was like no punching. And it's like the dude who was the champion, like everybody else like opened all his stuff up. You know, you get that up here where it's easy, and yeah, the guy wouldn't punch you. Why are you going hard on Kyrie too much? I give him the same thing. I mean, Kyrie's been injury prone his whole career. His whole career he's been injury prone. I mean, the reason, like if I would have been Cleveland, I wouldn't have got rid of him, but he was going to try to pull the Scottie Pippen. That's why they traded the butt. He was going to say, well, I'm going to have surgery, so I'm going to be out. And it's like he'd been out anyway. So I would have called his bluff. Same with Harden. They didn't have to get rid of Harden. I would have let him play. You want to play like that and humiliate yourself? They fired Kevin McHale instead of getting on Harden, because Kevin McHale in practice, in film session, would show, look what this motherfucker does. He don't do shit. And then Kevin McHale released some of that shit to the reporters. Embarrassed Harden. But it showed he didn't play defense. He still is a defensive liability. And this cat, what, 6'5"? He don't play defense. Irving is short. They're a liability on defense. And if it was a real game, you would go at them. It was like when LeBron and them was going at Curry. Okay, you want to shoot all these shots? Well, who you going to check? We're going to go at you. That's good coaching. That makes you play on both sides. That's what LeBron and them was doing. They was whoever Curry had, that's who they was working in. They was sending them. I found some channels saying boxing is hella fixed now. Like the time. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It was autocorrect. What do you think? They will make Logan beat Floyd? It's not a real fight, so Logan can't beat Floyd. Woke. It is not a real fight. It's only exhibition. You can't lose anything in the exhibition. Kyrie has been dealing with injuries since Duke. Exactly. He didn't even play at Duke. He played in the playoffs. He played 2 or 3 games in the beginning of the year, and then he played in the NCAA tournament. And he had a couple good games in the tournament before they got knocked out. Lorenzo, so much when I watch basketball game type of shots get screaming and scream basket manipulation. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I was watching the college games tonight. Sound like coasters when baskets go in college. When they put their system, it sounds like you putting something on a coaster. It's just so loud. I think that's why I like MMA. Most of the fights look organic. Irving woke. Maybe Ember. Maybe is. Maybe. But when he's wearing, you saying Cherokee and you smudging, you burning sage. There wasn't no sage burning in Kemet. Frankincense, yeah, but not sage. I didn't see him wear anything that symbolizes American Indians, or he says he's related to natives, so none of that. Again, it was the back to Africa shit. So that's a psyop. That is a psyop. Tyson First connected to the mob. MTK's leader was in the mob Ireland. There's documentary, and I think they did Wild or Dirty. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know about that. All the fights are fixed. What did dude say at the end of the fight? I hope you like the show. That's what he said. I hope you like the show. This is what I think they missed is that was the most anticipated fight in years. Pacquiao and Mayweather wasn't really an anticipated fight. Everybody watched it because of the hype, But far as anticipated fight, knowing dudes at the top of their profession, couldn't anybody say that the Pacquiao Mayweather fight, you looking at cats at the top of their profession. They was both over the hill. So when you had that Fury fight, that fight hadn't been anticipated. I mean, the numbers did crazy. I mean, the pay-per-view gave them a big boost in money they got. But what came, the script they wrote, and the sloppiness of the gloves, the sloppiness, I don't know. It was hard to watch from the point of view. It was like they didn't know how to script it for Fury to win. So a lot of sloppiness went into that. So they just wanted the big British money fight, AJ versus Fury. That's why they never put AJ and Wilder together. AJ stayed running. Yeah, he did kind of. Was the Godfather's movie real? Based on real characters and real events. I mean, people probably, the one thing that people don't understand is watch Godfather 3. And they just did a remake of it. But Godfather 3 tell you that the Vatican, it shows when they killed the Vatican's banker. It shows when they killed the newly elected Pope. And it shows that the Vatican, and the Pope's cooperation was laundering drug money and mafia money. That's as deep as it gets. Marlon Brando's character is Paul Castellano, basically. Because Castellano kind of talk like this. So it was a copy of several mob kind of people and stories. Again, the Mafia, you had to be Sicilian. Costa Nostra was what was practiced in America. A lot of them wasn't Sicilian. Them Jewish faith gangsters, like Meyer Lansky, Bugsy Siegel, they was Jewish faith people. Weinstein that rigged the World Series in 1918, Jewish faith person again. But they want you to think all the gangsters was Jewish faith people or Italians, when in fact a lot of them was Jewish faith. A lot of them Jewish faith. So to the aspect of trying to understand the rise in the business, it gives you that. I mean, very popular movies when they came out. Very popular movies. And showing how, and it showed how the snitching started. Because up to that point, there really wasn't any snitches. Dudes just took the L's, took the time, never said anything. Then you get into, his name was like Versace, but it wasn't Versace. But he was the first to really, now the first dude that wanted to snitch, they threw him, they paid the cops off and threw him out of second-story building. But then this other guy, his name is like Versace. Then he was the first one to really tell about how it was organized. But you see the government going after Italian gangsters. They didn't go after the other gangsters, just the Italian ones. And Sam Giancano, I mean, they got him so cold. They got Sam Giancano so cold, they gave him, what do they call it when they can't prosecute you? They gave him full where he could not get prosecuted. So he had to tell, and they kept him in jail for 2 years. And then when he gets out of jail, they pop him because they think that he probably told something or was about to tell something. And he got killed by somebody he knew because he let the person come in. So somebody knew that killed him, but they got him good. They was like, nothing you can say you'll ever be, can't criminalize you. And they got him for contempt and put him in jail for almost 2 years because he wouldn't talk. He still wouldn't talk. It's going to be Lakers and Nets. Hey, Ariel, thank you for joining me. It's going to be Lakers and Nets, but Lakers going to win in 6 because they got the best defense. Nets. I'm trying to see how the Nets is going to turn the negative ratings positive. I'm not seeing that yet. They are not covered. They are not really, look at their numbers. They are not carrying the night when the Nets are playing. They are not carrying. Maybe when Garnett comes back, but right now their numbers are not high. I do not see them going that far as long as their numbers are low. More like Indians instead of natives. Anybody that's born here can be native, but when those American Indians, who's original Americans, Have you heard of the 27 Club? Yes, I have, Ryan. I am a fan of Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. Yes, Valerie, full immunity. He was given full immunity and he still wouldn't talk. And they kept him in local jail. They kept him in Cook County jail for 2 years, which is, county jails ain't comfortable. You have a lot, the food's better. You go to prison, everything's better. I mean, prison can be better, but it's all better for you than a county. I mean, county is not meant to house you. But he was on a federal hold. But yep, Valerie, thank you. When do stories act the Baphomet and reptilians scare you? They scare me low key. Well, no, none of that stuff scares me. I don't really have any fears. Climbing a mountain is like my only fear. There was a cartoon about all these dudes on these, how can I describe this cartoon? It was in the late 80s and they were on these volcanic rocks and they were always on rocks that was like crumbling under them, but they lived on these mountains and that kind of stuff. That scares me. Like watching a native person climb the side of a mountain without any ropes or anything, that scares me. It's like, I just wonder if I project myself into someone and I'm projected there and he's like holding on with just some chalk on the side of a mountain. I guess that's the one thing of all my experiences that to me would scare me. I'm holding on to the side and I'm like, yeah, how do I get out? But nah, not too much other. Hey, Jeffrey, what's happening? Lakers smacked the up. I saw that game that the Lakers won. LeBron, don't pee on yourself, woke. I think Miami might have another repeat. I told people the Heat were going to get back in the 5th seed if they don't believe me. Now they're back in the 5th seed. Yeah, but those ratings last year were some of the worst ever. I don't know. They've got to put somebody in there because right now they are not killing the Knights. They are not killing the Knights. And these national games are giving very low ratings. I mean, just check it for yourself. They are not killing it. I just don't know what they're going to do about that to turn that thing around. I guess the All-Star game, which again, LeBron and them are saying it's dangerous and they shouldn't play, that ain't helping. I mean, they're in a league right now that's very low ratings. The hockey game today had fans, which surprised me because hockey's been like no fans. That would scare me. Do you know David Icke? Yes. What are your thoughts on his reptilian belief? Yeah, I don't really follow that dude. Again, if you want to see the place of the reptilians, look at Jupiter's ascending. And Jupiter's ascending, it shows them subservient to the Europeans. It shows that they lost. And I think that's the truth. Get The Other Side of Eden. Carl Sagan shows you pictures of what those reptilians really look like. He gives a picture. He ain't just guessing. He gives the first drawing. He tells you it's what he imagined dinosaurs would look now. That's how he says it. Well, this was probably what they look like. But and Wes Pineris gets into how the reptilians were destroyed. They credit the Anunnaki with defeating them, but again, they do appear like they're, and that's what it appears like. A lot of these dinosaurs, like bones, is when they got beat. There's some readings you can find about that. How do you feel about the Knicks? The Knicks don't need to win. The Knicks are one of the most valuable franchises in America. The Knicks and the Cowboys go 1-2 every year. Before this all happened, the Knicks were by far the most successful franchise and hadn't won a championship since '75. Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier. So it doesn't matter to the NBA or the Knicks owners if they win or lose. When they open this all back up, the Knicks are going to be back winners again just because they're the financial winners. The same with the Detroit Lions. They don't care if they win or lose. They're going to sell out every game. The Knicks got in the fourth. Oh, you're looking at talent. Now, talent-wise, they have a lot of good young talent. Randall, I've always liked this game. I think Randall probably should have sat out his rookie year because remember, he broke his foot early. He was having them foot issues in college, and they probably should have sat him out that first year. So it's stinging it. And he didn't play bad for the Lakers. He was a #1 pick, and he didn't play bad.
So I never understood why they got rid of him. Woke, have you been seeing how the numbers line up? Though it seems perfect not to. It's just the Baphomet is the agenda, what they do behind the scenes. Okay, yeah. They don't lose these 9 foot are in power. 27 Club. Yep, I know all the names. Yep, Robert Johnson. Yep, I know all the names. Do you think? See, I really like. I look at okay when Doc was on TV as a broadcaster, his numbers were pretty high. His Q ratings were fairly high. That transferred a little bit because again, they gave him a lot of national stage. They weren't going to let him get over. They just weren't with the Clippers. But the popularity of the team, his ratings, every time he came on was still high. I look at all that now with the Sixers. Now they took Embiid's commercials off. He had the Mountain Dew commercials. They taken those off. And it seems like they did that to make him concentrate a little more on the season and staying healthy. Ben Simmons is still a negative. He's not bringing anybody in. But yeah, because the other Curry plays for him now, right? The other Curry brother, Seth, is with them. And Seth, people like Seth. People like Seth. That's why Seth is still in the league. People like Seth. So I like that matchup. It could even be Warriors, Sixers, because again, that's a Wilt Chamberlain ritual. Trying to think, Lakers, Sixers is a Dr. J like ritual. But again, that can even be looked at as a little Wilt Chamberlain. Because again, Wilt Chamberlain played with the Sixers as well. So it's all about ratings and the popularity of everyone and who's going to, commercials. That's what they need. I don't think they're going to let dry Kyrie or dry Leonard be in there again. Paul George, nobody really likes Paul George. So I just don't see them carrying anything. I think the same way they did Paul and Griffin in the Clippers. I think they want people to love the Lakers. That's what it appears like. His vid, coach. Are you talking about Draco? Hey, what you worried about? That's all. Don't work. This is an adventure. I wish he stayed with the Lakers. Yeah, a lot of potential, Abram. Yeah, I do agree. Are you talking about Draco Tunes? Tips help Knicks get far ahead. He's all about defense first and offense second. Yeah, he was with he was working with Doc. He was Doc's defensive coach when Doc was in Boston. His vid in Surah 13, yes. Okay. You're right. It's just because I woke up recently. Come on, brother. You're not seriously. I feel like Portland doesn't want to build a better team around Dame. I think they're going to bury Dame because Curry's back. Dame took Curry's place for the 2 seasons Curry was hurt. They want to keep a short person in the light. So what's going on with the Tatari and all this talk, the 1800s, mud, flood, and wire, all these fires at the same time? It's like, why build buildings for the world's fair just to, I don't know. That's a lot of propaganda, I think. I think that's all a propaganda. That mud flood all is the only way the mud flood is real could be a real restart. From the restart perspective, possibly, but not the Aryan perspective. You see most Europeans talking about it. They're looking at it from the European perspective of Europeans being ancient. That's what a lot of this is. And so you really have to look at who's bringing the information. Like quantum of conscious gets into it a little bit, not a whole lot. He's not really swayed, but he's trying to say, how did they build it with the tools and everything? But the thing that he doesn't realize is the time. These dudes had the time. They have shit else to do. So they had the time to build this stuff. And I think that's tapping. I think that's something that he misses, that they had the time to build all this stuff. And ain't none of that shit on Manhattan, and only Europeans can dig it up. Because that's another part of it. They tell you they went in Manhattan and they want you to think that they dug these houses up. Now, if the world was restarted and they started with teenagers or children, very possible. Very possible we had a restart. but it was like everybody got a restart. It just wasn't benefiting the mud flood people. That's a possibility, but that's the only possibility, I think. Don't rain on my Knicks parade. Let me enjoy the moment. There you go. Melo looking much better than his bro already. LaMelo, I still think Edwards is way. Edwards might mess around and steal the MVP because Edwards dunks. I mean, just his all around play is Jordanish. LaMelo ain't taking the shit by storm, even though what it might hurt is because the Timberwolves are losing so much. That might hurt Edwards, but Edwards is playing spectacular. I'm surprised they ain't talking about taking him to the dunk contest, which the dunk contest is ridiculous. And if anybody's been in dunk contest, it takes a lot out of your legs. It really does. It takes a lot out of your legs. When I was warming up, 3 dunks, that was it. 3 dunks in the layup line, and that's it. Other than that, I'm not expending all that energy. Yeah, when I was in 10th and 11th grade, maybe, but yeah, I learned more than that. And then outside dunk contest, yeah, no, thank you. Not tearing my legs up. Don't rain. Can you explain those amazing buildings? There are amazing buildings all over the world, though, Jeffrey. They're all over the world. The George Floyd murder hushed up the Save Our Children movement. It really did, Smoke Toe. Their buildings always has a hint of white power in the message. Hey, there you go. How could they? Again, the technology was there to build these buildings. A lot of these buildings was built in the 1300s. And the idea of building those buildings, I mean, the technology was there. Again, we're not talking about these buildings was built in 6 months. No, these buildings took some years. That's what they don't keep in account. So if you have years to build this stuff, it's a lot of different old technologies you could use to put that shit up there. And they bring the skilled workers that have their own each little thing to do. So it's possible to build that shit. I'm not with that. This shit is built and they can't do it, and they didn't have the tools. No, I'm not with that. I like Edwards. Yeah, Edwards is nasty. You see Detroit Pistons anytime soon? Detroit's another one. They gave them their 2 titles, which the second one, I mean, that was so fixed. There's no way they could have swept Kobe and Shaq. No way. But they got those 2. I don't see them getting any more. I don't. But they like the Pistons to win, and they like Detroit to win every now and then. When the Pistons win, it's around the same time Detroit is good, or the Tigers are good. Tigers ain't been good recently, so that is why. That's kind of how they kind of go together every other year or so. If one wins, look for the other one to win. Well, pretty damn confident. I heard LeBron say when Kobe died, he got to finish his legacy, and Kobe three-peated at the start of the decade. Could be. Anthony is not being in the dunk contest. Yeah, I didn't think he was, which I think a lot of people kind of didn't know about him until the last couple of weeks, and I think it was too late by then. Do you think the Russell trade? I wouldn't be surprised if they switched Watson for Russell. Wouldn't surprise me. I think that seems to be the narrative. They keep bringing their names up, and so it seems like that is kind of part of the narrative. So that is what I think is a possibility. So we'll see. Because both of them are on contract. Russell is on contract for another year. And shit, Watson is just getting off his rookie deal and it's to his second contract. Why did Watts go to the? I think to give the a more popular name on defense because he's way past his prime. I didn't see why they would want him. I knew Buffalo didn't need him. Buffalo already had a good defense, so I know Buffalo didn't want his ass. Cardinals defense is not as good, so Russ can choose where he goes. He is not a free agent until after this season. That is why all this is coming up now. He still has another season to go. Texans not on his list. I I wouldn't want to be on their list either. Watson talking about they lied to him. Well, what are his people that pay you? You know, he was crying one minute, next minute he's like, well, they lied to me. They weren't honest. They said they were going to let me know what coach they were taking. Yeah, they own the business. They ain't going to tell you shit. You shouldn't have signed. You sign, you got to play. So I doubt he goes on strike, but maybe he'll do like Bell. And I mean, they shamed Bell because Bell was offered Bell took less money at the end of all of it. He took less money, which made him kind of look stupid. Like but on a position, a player at his position, and remember, he didn't play in the Super Bowl, which I still don't understand. Why didn't Bell play in the Super Bowl? When you watch me doing my video, I'm like, where's Bell? Why isn't Bell playing in the Super Bowl? So I didn't understand that. When he let me see, Watt went to the Cardinals because it was a ritual with the power outrage in Texas. Public Enemy released an album with Arizona cover title, What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down? Good one, Sosa. Good one. Watt equals power. Good one. Good breakdown. When Detroit beat the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe was Detroit's third championship, the first two in 89 and 1990. That's right. That is right. Watson's a bitch. Yeah, Watson ain't that good. I wish Westbrook had never left OKC. I think in some ways he wish he would too. Zach from Gematria covered it. Oh, okay. You got that from Zach? Okay. Like, why did he even sign the extension with Houston? Exactly. You didn't have to sign it when he signed it. But again, they was all looking at Dak, and Dak got hurt, so a lot of them wanted. And he might even signed it before Dak got hurt. So it didn't make a lot of sense for him to sign it. It just didn't. And tomorrow's going to be in the 40s. It's cold right now. It's really cold. Like, I keep my heat off all day because when I wear this shit inside, I get hot. So I keep the heat off. So I'm not hot sitting under these goddamn lights. I probably didn't share this. Maybe I did. Like, I was working with a zoo light, and the zoo light was asking it to push some energies out of me, you know, whatever was contaminating my system. And there's this nerve in your leg that's like above your knee. It's kind of like where some of my pain is coming from. And it shot down that nerve all the way down my knee and went out my big toe. Now, this morning I had a chiropractor, and I love going to chiropractor when I'm buzzed. They put you on this roller chair. I'll tell you what, if I ever wanted to really get a GoFundMe, I would get a GoFundMe for one of them chiropractor rollers. That shit, oh my, it does your neck, it does your back, it does your legs. Oh, they give me that at first. I go in there and I'm really just shattered and crumbled and I'm just feeling good. They do that. I get that for like 15 minutes. Then I get the adjustment. He has a nurse in there or an assistant chiropractor. She's working on her, you know, a student. And I love her hands. She just puts her hands on my neck and she can just pop it. And I just love it. And then they give me the acupuncture. And like he hits a nerve where because both of my thumbs are messed up and he hits a nerve here. Probably can see where they put it. But it was like, you know, when you get acupuncture, what you're trying to do is deeply talk to your meridians, your healing meridians. And you have a conversation with inside because you're trying to show the inside of your body that you care about it. And this is the time to kind of get some of this detox out because it opens up these channels to release this stuff. And I just felt like some energy just like zap out like on my hand here and it went right out my finger. It was just the neatest kind of thing. And because I mess with harmonizer so much, I can feel just the energy moving through all the points. And come out there, you're talking about feeling good. Coming out of there just feeling wonderful. So I love that kind of thing. It's like they even signed. Yep. When they cut the grid down, everyone is fucked. ATM, military. JJ is 31-year-old signed 31 million on 3-1. Yeah, make that sense. Yeah, I guess it is 3. I wrote 2 that right now. Oh, guess you're right. It is 3. Y'all going to be in the 40s up there, 8 win. Yeah, it's gonna be in the 40s here, I think, unless they changed it. But it's supposed to be in the 40s tomorrow. Oh, this sucker ain't charged and it's cold. Unless they changed it. That's 14 above zero right now. But tomorrow, today, Wednesday, it's supposed to be 45. All week, check this out. All week, 45 Wednesday, 43, 45 Tuesday, 43 Wednesday, 43 Thursday, 43 Friday, 48 Saturday, and 55 Sunday. Don't you know 55 Sunday will have us up here? Whoa. Will have us up here with shorts on. You might see some girls with some bikinis on if it's 55 up here in February or March. So, yeah, it's going to be nice Sunday. Really nice. How much money do you think the players actually get at win? I don't believe they're giving JJ 31 to make a couple sacks a season. Yeah. The numbers, it doesn't seem like the money reported. Again, you got agents, you got family. And how do people blow money in 4 or 5 years? The average NFL player declares bankruptcy in 5 years. How is that possible when the numbers they say they get? You look back at some of these people supposedly made 100 million. Like, how is it that Michael Jordan made 90 million in his playing career, but his endorsements put him over $1 billion? So it's like he didn't even need basketball. And of course, basketball gave him the platform, but it's like he didn't even need it really. That's why he took less all those years. Magic was the first person to make 10 million a year. Jordan's last years was the biggest contracts he ever had from the league because he didn't need it because of the endorsements. I'm struggling to figure out what Houston even did to Deshaun. Looks like you have a new phone. No, I did not get it, but I'm going to get it this weekend or Monday. So I'll see. But I haven't got it yet. No, it's still computer. But yeah, I think I'm going to get the iPhone. It looks like the best, the camera use. Yep. So I didn't get it yet, Barbara. I'm just lazy. Still kind of, because right now they're talking about the iPhone 13. They're talking about it by March. No, by April, May. They're coming out with a new one. So I've kind of been holding off to see, but I don't know, because I watch all these people and they talk about the phones. I think they are placed in these mansions, luxury cars, and they don't buy it. Yeah, I think so too. I think it looks like a lot like that. A lot of them don't have what they show, and a lot of them they do. At one time, they was pushing beyond their means. What's the one Ryzen? Ryzen was talking about if one person came in with a bigger chain, then you had to give a bigger chain. One person came in with a better car, and you had to get a better car. That's niggerish. That's nigger behavior. Who cares? Who cares driving what? Remember, I used to love S classes, like 03 to 08s, and they're some of the worst cars ever. Like, that's why I did the video about it. They're some of the worst cars. Their engineering just sucked. Any Mercedes before 08 sucked. You can road and track will find one every now and then, but S-Class had, these cars were $90,000, 03, 04. And cars were basically having a lot of issues. I think they're placed. Who is your 21 pick? Let's see where I put that. Trying to see which did I put it? So one was Lakers. One was Lakers because I had Final Fours. One was Lakers, Sixers, Lakers, Sixers. So Lakers, Sixers, Warriors, Boston. Lakers, Sixers, Warriors, Boston. Because that also, the Warriors, Boston would also bring up the Wilt thing because Wilt played with the Warriors against Bill Russell in the Boston. So that's what I'm still kind of putting. But I would say the more, what I lean more, I think I really lean a lot towards this. The Lakers, Sixers to me seem the most obvious. That's my number one that I feel are going to make it is Lakers. There's more positives in the Lakers, Sixers compared to when you start going to the other. Lakers just have so many positives. They have the LeBron positive. They have the Davis positive. The franchise is positive. They always get decent ratings. And then you go to the Sixers. You have a positive with Doc. Embiid is a positive, but Simmons is the negative. So I think that adds to more positives that I got because again, Curry is holding. Curry is positive. I gave Green a positive, but you might even look at Green as being neutral. And then you look at Boston. I mean, who really? Who? Tatum. Tatum is still he's not negative, but Tatum is a neutral. Brown is a negative. So there's just no ratings there. So my pick is likely the Lakers and the Sixers. And then my next choice would be the Warriors or Boston. I want to say Lakers, Sixers. I think that's the Wilt kind of thing. And then it goes back to the Dr. J Magic rivalry where they had Magic won the majority of them. Dr. J only won one. Magic beat Dr. J twice. So that's what I'm thinking is going to be Lakers, Sixers. And if not, it would be Warriors, Boston. Looks the most positive. So, well, since I'm hesitating, I might as well do the divination. So I believe today is day 13. Yeah. So you have 13 cartoons. 13 cartoons, 8. I got my rhythm mixed up. I have to look on the phone. Oh. 13 cartoons, 8. Let's see. I'm old manning. So we've got 13 batoons, 0 cartoons, 8 tunes. We have 5 Uno, and we are on 13 kin. And the Mayan would be Ben. Yeah, I do need to get another phone because this one is dying. I've just been too cheap and too lazy. And we are at Ben, and so we are in a new direction. And Ben is Skywalker, Pillars of Heaven and Earth, Aspirations for Uniting Heaven and Earth, Principle of Growth of Higher Mind. It is also Read. And we are on a new cycle of direction. That is the Mayan fractal. And in the Toltec, it is considered Read. In this image, we see the Mother Earth protecting the human being. She is dressed as the Quetzalcoatl bird to represent beauty and nature. On top, we see the reed that has been used to build a ceremonial arrow. The reed plant is a plant that starts life being small and fragile, but later becomes strong, long pole. Even though in an initial stage, the reed may seem weak, the potency of igniting fire is always there. It will grow, become strong. Eventually, it will provide light through burning. The other source of reed strength comes from its flexibility. If a reed was too rigid, strong winds would break it. Your life has been much like the reeds. At the beginning, or even the moment of this moment, which is the beginning of what you have left to live, you may not even be too strong, but your inner fire is there waiting for you to release it. Think about the words of the poet Nana Quorio. The human being is just like wood. It only gives light when it is burning. This is telling you that the best of you come out and illuminate the world when you are able to put all your passion to doing something you really care about. Do not forget that the fire is there within you all the time, just waiting for you to know what your passion is, to find your willingness to embrace it. But your strength should become nothing in an instant if you're not able to nurture it and sustain it. Some level of flexibility. The hallmark of the reed is strength and flexibility. That is why it prevails. The reed card is inviting you to visualize situations you are going through as facing the strength of the wind. If you are too rigid, your approach you can break. Nothing and meaning no good will come from the situation. So, some questions you can look at is what kind of recurring thoughts are contributing to my rigid aspect of my thinking? How could be considered being more flexible in the way of my thinking? So, if that resonates with anybody, you're free to take that. And just want to see, haven't played with these in a minute. Just want to see if they want to play a little bit. So is this warm weather in Minnesota going to continue for more than 1 week? To the right, yes. To the left, no. Is the warm weather here to stay? To the right, yes. And to the left, no. Looks like a pretty convincing yes. All right. Well, let's ask the other one another question. Will it snow again? Oh, I keep forgetting to glue this. Will it snow again? Will we get substantial amount of snow again this winter in Minnesota? To the right, yes. To the left, no. Will we get substantial amount of snows again in Minnesota? To the right, yes. To the left, no. Well, this is a double whammy. They both agreed. I think this is, we need to fire the groundhog, kick him in its ass. Magic also beat Bird 2 out of 3 times in the finals. Add Magic to beating Bird in the national championship game. Magic won 3 out of 4 against Bird. That is right. Do you bet on any professional sports game? Shit, I once bet on a Pee-wee football game and lost by 1. And lost to grass. Still mad at my son for dropping that pass. Live and learn. That's funny, Joel. Oh, on the realest ship I ever wrote. On the realest shit I ever smoked. That's a good one. Good breakdown. I haven't smoked in nearly a month. Can't wait to light that first one up. Yeah, I'm smoking like right now. Jeffrey, I guess they'll be the smartest fuckers ever. It looks like yes to me. There you go. It is. So hopefully, but I've been like I went in the city. Another dude said he actually had some wax, some dabs. So he didn't show up, and I'm like fully loaded. So I just wanted some extra and another connect. So, but he didn't show up. So I'm like, I blow big stacks. So didn't have to wait. And we came back. He gave my son his old TV, my son did. On the snow question. Yeah, on the snow question. That moved a little bit. It was going pretty much yes instead of giving me a neutral. So we'll see. No snow. I like cold. I don't like the snow because it makes it messy. And my friend lives about 45 minutes away. So me to go, I need clear roads. I don't care about rain. Rain doesn't matter. But when the rain freezes, freezing rain matters. Freezing rain matters. It makes the roads all fucked up. And it's funny, like my dyslexia, it's like when I have myself targeted on some shit, I can't read anything else. So I buy more wipers. And the way they do wipers, they show the right side and the left side. Yeah, I didn't notice that shit. I just bought another right side, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and I see the motherfucker's too long. I'm like, I did something wrong here. I said, so I had to go back and exchange it. And I was going to get the cheap when I went back and got the one like I bought before. Had to pop that fucker in. So And I'm excited to get all my front end of my car done. If this weather stays like this, I got a cat will build my whole front end for me. He put part of it in, and I think this company that I got tires from fucked my part of my front end. So the new parts I bought, I think I got to buy them all new again. I got a cat that I'll probably give him $100. He'll build my whole front end. It cost me $100 to get it all wheel aligned. Yeah, and that the girls call it the daddy wagon. Because at one time I used to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children. So I was dropping all their asses off. And, the way I would drop them off is, I might each seat pivot and I would just kick them in the ass and they'd fly, to the front porches. Parents didn't seem to mind. I didn't have to stop. Do you take slabs? I think you mean dabs. You know what? I don't have a rig, but I'm looking to get one. I was looking at that Q-pin Rome that had the little water thing, but the water thing really wouldn't help. And that thing is like $250. So yeah, I'm about to get a rig probably tomorrow. They have ones that are called cold starts, and you put butane in them, and it just there's no really spark, and you can the dude told me, I was asking this guy that I was supposed to get some today. He said, well, let me be honest. He said, this is why you want to get a rig. He said, rigs today are like what was crack to people in the 80s. He said, if you get a rig, it'll make your dabs turn into crack. That's what he told me. He was like, I know what you got. And he said, that's great. But he said, you get one of them damn things, it's going to make a world of difference. We'll see. We'll see. Do you buy the Dion Sanders? That's I didn't get that. Why he released it like that. I wonder if he was looking at it as like, I can't trust this place, and that's why I have to quit coaching, and I'm going to take all my top recruits wherever I go next. I wondered if it was that story. That's what it made me think of. Is like a way to get out, because you would keep that stuff in your car, or you'd have a safe in your office. And the story that a assistant moved the shit because it didn't look secure. How many people have keys to the coach's office? Only the other coaches. The janitors and shit have master keys, but yeah. So yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's insurance scam. Dion's probably is a clone. I was going to move to that area, Fort Myers. I was dating a girl 10 years ago. And I almost moved to that area. And my sons would have went to Dion's high school. She lived down in Fort Myers. So I was thinking about making that move. But if I would have made that move, my beautiful daughter would not have been born, because that chick was my age. So got with a much younger woman, and she had my daughter. And I think that's why she got with me. She looked at all these other dudes, all these other children I had produced, and she said, that man, there's a good chance he could impregnate me. You have to take it what it is. And she was right. I was 50 and still dropping them down on her. So, but I love children. I love raising men. I've raised 5 productive men. So now I've got a chance to raise a productive young lady. Their mother's calling me and take it. Oh, here's a good one for everybody. And this is what my daughter told me today. So her god sister's in her class, and she stays in the car because, again, Mondays I generally don't see her. Mother doesn't work 2 jobs on Mondays or Tuesdays. So her god sister gets out and say goodbye. And she said, well, I don't want so-and-so to hear this. I had to tell you this. I said, well, what's going on? She said, well, my god sister said someone was her slave. And I thought that was kind of bullying. And I said, well, how did that make you feel? She said, I think she's a bully. And I know, it was that black power root shit coming in, but she just was offended because her god sister said, oh, that's just my slave, or you're my slave. So it's going to be interesting, because I passed it on, of course, just to see what her mother and the godmother is going to say. So yeah, I passed that all on to see what happens. But it was just kind of funny. My daughter was all serious. I thought she was going to tell me some real shit. And she's like, yes, my godfather said that so-and-so girl was her slave. So I'm like, okay. And she was serious. I'm like, okay, does that bother you? It bothered me. I'm like, okay then. Well, I'll tell your mother. She said, I just wanted to tell you. I want to tell you right now. That's what she told me. Like, you're going to see your mother in a couple hours. She's like, no, I want to tell you right now so you can tell my mother right now. So I passed it on. They haven't called me back, so I don't know what's going to be on it. Dion already quit. Sad. Wasn't it the HBC he was coaching? Oh, he quit. I didn't really quit. It didn't say he quit today. I didn't really quit today. They canceled the game against Mississippi Valley, which I think is in their conference. They canceled that game Saturday, so they only had one game. And then the Walters, whatever the school they played, fired their coach after one freaking game. How do you fire him? Because he lost 56-0. I mean, he must really like had some high school players. But again, that was a Division III school. So, they're not expected to be very good against Division II. I feel like him being in Jackson State is an addition for him to go to S. Yeah, right. Let's say he's alma mater. Well, remember, he interviewed when they got rid of the brother that was coaching at Florida State. When they got rid of him, Dion interviewed for that job. And they took Dion seriously. And Dion's been coaching at high school level for the past 3 or 4 years, since his boy's been playing. So he has laid the foundation. And I just think to kind of have a college step is to give him a bigger platform. But it's hard if you're not playing your games. But organization-wise and getting a coaching staff, I mean, I think he's proven that he can do all that. And those are the steps. Those are the steps you take. So that's what I see he's doing. He's taking those steps. But yeah, it's definitely, but every coach is like that. It ain't just him. Every coach is like that. That's why a lot of these coaches start talking on TV, because the preparation is serious, similar. You still got to prepare for these games. You got to scout. Matter of fact, when you're a TV analyzer, when you're a color person, you got to scout all the teams that's coming up. So it's a hell of a preparation. So they're always auditioning. Excuse me, they're always auditioning. Ex-fresh president arrested and going to prison for a year for corruption. Like he would really be in prison. Yeah, it is. All theater. I'm a Florida State fan, so that's a brother's dream. Okay, Lorenzo. I played on Florida State's field. And we had a coach that came with Bobby Bowden. Schofield. I don't know whatever became of him. Ken Schofield. He had played in the AFL for a couple of years and was one of Bobby Bowden's receivers coach for a few years. I don't know what happened down there. But I'll say this. When we played FAMU down there, so we go down there, the coach is gone for a while, and he's sitting with us, and so he had to parlay in a little cocaine when he was down there. He comes sitting with us, and I hit my best friend. I'm like, he leaned over like, this motherfucker been snorting some coke. And my best friend was like, yeah, you catch a cold down here in all this hot weather? He's like, yeah. But I'll tell you this, we had cracked on him about some Florida State socks. They had the high socks over your knees where you could bend them over or fold them over. Oh, he got us those. Those were some of the best socks I ever played with. He went there and we cracked on him. He brought him back. Like right when I cracked on him about the cocaine, he went to campus and he met with somebody. But again, this is 1980. Now it's 1981. So he was down at home. He had lived in Florida for some years and somebody gave him some cocaine. And he's sitting there snorting and shit, Like, you got a cold, coach? Yeah. He didn't have a cold. Just like the way the Wild Boys was taken down. The Wild Boys wasn't taken down by any other gang. They was taken down by the cocaine. Cocaine took the Wild Boys down, made the Wild Boys leave the reservation and start breaking into homes. See, when you rob on the reservation, you go to the reservation jail. But when you step outside the reservation to get to robbing shit, that's them European shit. So they put you in the European jail. But remember though, when they let the Wild Boy out of the penitentiary, the people in the penitentiary knew about the Wild Boys. Don't forget that. That's very important. All the things I say tonight, that's very important. I just like the smell of coke. That shit funny. You like just for the smell of it. I got to say, I ran into a girl that would start smoking crack and taking off her clothes. was the damnedest thing every time. She'd go, ooh, wait, and I mean, this wasn't a skag, this girl was on TV. I'll say that. She was one of the local news people where I lived. And that was, so she was like, hadn't hit her bottom. She was like a functioning crack person. She wasn't a bottom crack person. I don't know what happened to her. Good one, Joel. That's funny. Oh, well, you know what they say about cocaine. Don't mention it unless you got some. It's a Hollywood shuffle joke. Oh. So yeah, it's nice up here when when the weather changes, everybody getting their car washed and everybody's out a little more. It's still a lot really wet. Again, it was very cold today, but I didn't wear a heavy coat all day. Like when I go to the chiropractor, it's less than 5 minutes away. So I've got like something like this, a hoodie, and I wear shorts and stuff because again, he does all my back, my legs, my knees, everything. So I wear shorts and takes me in the massage room and puts pins everywhere. It has me looking like a damn. I got to get him to do the cups again. The cups feel good too. I really like when they do my shoulder. But the problem with getting the cups put on your back, this is the problem. When you get the cups on your back, it leaves those marks on your back, those little round circles like this. And I was going with this African girl, and she wouldn't believe me. And she thought I was cheating on her, and she called it suckerbacks. She said she found some site on YouTube where women like to suck on men's back where they leave a perfectly round circle like that. Suckerback, she was calling it. And with her African language, her accent, I was kind of confused until she started showing me this stuff. And even after I pointed out that the circles on my back were all round and the same size, the suckerback video she showed me on YouTube, they were different sizes. And I kept trying to slow the video down saying, look, these are all the same. Those aren't. They look like, and I really pointed out to her, I said, it looks like she's biting them on the back. It doesn't really look like they're round sucker marks, so I think you're confused. But she kept going suckerback freak and not believing me. So we end up breaking up. I guess couldn't convince her. I even took her to the chiropractor and showed her what happened, and she still didn't believe me. She said, no, I don't care about what all these people say. They're lying for me. That's what she told me. In the doctor's office, she called them all liars, even the receptionist. I had like 4 people vouch for me that they showed her the cups. They offered to put the cups on her. She said that all of them were lying. Nothing I could do with that. So we broke up. So we end up breaking up over putting the cups on my back. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. Oh. And so it's not a whole lot going on in the life today. Monday is a day off of the NBA. I don't think it was any games. Again, I lost money on this damn hockey game, how do you lose with 3 minutes left and it's 4-2? You don't lose. Matter of fact, one of the goals, and the hockey doesn't like me doing videos. They always restrict the videos when I do hockey. This dude not only kicks it in once, he kicks it towards the goal and then kicks it in with his skate. So he kicks it off his knee and then he kicks it in with his skate. And they counted it. And since I'm looking at, again, the Wild winning, and I'm looking at no more than 3 goals, even though that was broken when it was 4-2, but they were still, I was going to get the win. And they score with damn 6 seconds left to tie it and go to overtime. That shit's believable. It's not very believable. You should have brought her to the place with you. It didn't do any good, Jeffrey. I did take her to the doctor's office and she cussed them all out in her very heavy African accent. They were confused what she was saying. And they were like, I'm not sure what that meant. I said, well, she just cussed you all out and called you lying son of a bitches pretty much. And they were like, oh. They didn't quite hear that, but I could, interpret what she said. And that's what she called them all, lying son of a bitches and some devil shit and all that. It's like, okay. So I made her walk back to get her car. I didn't even take her home after that. I was like, okay, you crazy bitch, you can walk back. It's like, you're not riding with me. You done cussed all my people out and you are crazy. Walk back to your car. So I didn't go home, and I told my son to open the door for her, and I waited for her to leave. My son's like, yeah, I think she's gone. She's not lurking anywhere. Never saw her again. So good luck to you wherever you are. Her name was Teresa of the Golden City. I don't know. Never figured out where. That's not a very African name, but that was her name, Teresa of the Golden City. Her last name was of the Golden City. Hell of a name, but Teresa of the Golden City. I don't know like what kind of African parents came up with that name, but that was her name. So who am I to argue? Your name is your name. I come up with the damnedest things. But I thought it was a very petty reason to break up with me. I had a girl. I've had women be with me. And this back when my daughter was like 2 years old. I dated this one woman for months. And then finally she said, I can't keep dating you because you have a 2-year-old. I'm like, chick, you got a 2-year-old grandchild. She's like, yeah, but. I was like, what but? Your daughter lives with you. The 2-year-old lives with you. What is the difference? I can bring my 2-year-old over and play with your 2-year-old grandchild. What is the problem? Like, how can you not date me when you have a 2-year-old living in your damn house? I didn't get that one either. It didn't make sense. It's like, how can't you date me? You have a 2-year-old in your house. I thought that was a perfect match. I was like, I can bring my daughter over and just let 2-year-olds play. So, you know, I get all the funny women. I bet she was good in bed. The crazy ones always are. I do not kiss and tell. Wow, that's wild. Short hair Dion is definitely a clone. They're now giving soldiers in the military choice. I don't think they can make them. And I've been following that pretty closely. Right now, I have now found that my brother just did a video on that a week ago, where right now they can't force them. And a lot of soldiers are turning it down, are refusing to have it. A lot of soldiers is saying nay on it. So right now, I do not think they can force them to. I do not think the laws are in it that they have to take it. Pretty sure they don't. I am pretty sure they don't. But it's going to come to a point where they're going to make them. So, I mean, look at right now, you got doctors and nurses saying, well, you know, next week. Hey, when you give her, this is the America treatment. Funny, Lorenzo. I've run into some crazy people. And I run into, you know, I'm older, but like I get a lot of 70-plus-year-old women cracking on me all the time. I told one woman I would probably break her back, and she said that would be worth the risk. And I just didn't know what else to say. I literally told her, I said, lady, I will lift your legs up on my shoulders and cock you up and probably end up breaking your back. And she got flushed in the face and said, that would probably be worth it. Like, oh. I thought I was telling her something like, wow. And she was kind of like with the broken back and all. So you just never know. You never know. Just because they're old doesn't mean their parts don't work and they don't have these fantasies and everything. Robbing the grave. I don't know. They one lady told me she still had a lot of dynamite. I was like, okay, can you show me what kind of dynamite you're working with? And she was 74 years old and she still had dynamite. Let me tell you, she still had dynamite. So I don't know. I think it works forever, guys. I think we stopped working and I don't know. She was 74 years old and had dynamite. The only reason I quit messing with her, I woke up one night and she had the goddamn mask and the whipping chains out. And I was like, yeah, that's too much, baby. I'm not with that. I would gladly beat you, but that it would be frowned upon. I mean, you know, if I beat you, they'd be very frowned upon. Here I'm this big, strong-looking guy. You're this frail 74-year-old lady, and if I beat you with that whip there, they're not going to look at it very, very favorably. Not in this state, at least. And then she looked at me. She said, no, the whip's not for you to beat me. It's for me to beat you. And I'm like, well, you know, that's not how it goes anymore. I would whoop your ass before you hit me with that damn whip. You know that, don't you? You could try. It was like I was turning her on, telling her I'm about to take the goddamn whip from her hand. And she was like getting turned on about it. I'm like, you hit me with that goddamn whip. That's going to be enough of that, of you. So I was kind of able to, you know, stay away from her and shit before she hit me. And we was in the kitchen and shit. And so she finally tried to whip me with the whip, and the whip caught the freezer door. And when she pulled it back, you know, to get the whip back, it like popped her and shit. Knocked the wind out of her. And so I'm standing over her with the goddamn whip. Now she's like dazed like a motherfucker. She done refrigerator door, freezer door in the head. And she's laying on the floor like, you know, very dazed. And this picture didn't look very good for me. Here I am as an older, big dude. And like this woman is like damn near knocked out on the kitchen floor wearing a mask and shit and heels and shit. I guess it was a teddy. Yeah. So I got the smelling sauce out and everything and revived her. That just wouldn't have looked very good to me. They came in there, I'm like, hey, she might need something, you know. They wouldn't have believed my story that she, you know, caught the refrigerator and popped her, knocked herself out. They wouldn't have believed that story. They would have looked at me and said, I believe you were hitting this lady with this whip. Like, you know, there's no way to get out of that kind of thing. You know, it just didn't look good. You can't put yourself in that situation, you know. And there she is, like knocked out on the floor. You know, what could I say? Because when the thing knocked her out, she pissed on the floor. The thing knocked her out, and then while she was laying there, she pissed all on the floor. So, you know, in the dark, it kind of looked like blood. It was just like dark, and you know, on the way her floor was, it looked like blood was all underneath her. But I knew it was piss because I saw she didn't hit the back of her head or anything. She just got a quite little, you know, jarred. So, you know, you never know, guys. You just never know. You know, and I like older women. I like younger women. I just like women. Like women say, what type do I have? I said, well, the female type. That's my type, the females, you know. They're like, no, like, do you like them big? Do you like them little? Do you like them tall, round? Yes, all of the above. Well, what type do you like? Women. I mean, people don't understand that it's like all women are different and unique and beautiful. So there's not one I can just say. Now, I bring up Dana Delaney all the time. That is not really the type of woman I like. She's very thin. She doesn't have a round butt. Her boobs aren't very big. So I would just say if I saw Dana Delaney, I wouldn't really say that would be my type. She would be a little too skinny and a little too flat. But mostly women, you know, I push the women button. Barbara, 74, it's still squirting. You had a 2-year child, she had a grandchild. I mean, she didn't know arithmetic. That made 4 of y'all. She was tripping. Yeah, Larissa, she was tripping. She was tripping. She was really tripping. And she was a little younger than me, but she was already a grandmother. And I'm like, so when I came over and your granddaughter kept like just snotting on my pants, you know, because she was like, you wouldn't wipe her nose. And I just was like, okay. Yeah, that was okay. But yeah, so run into all kind of situations, guys. Run into all kind of situations. No, you know, this is the weirdest thing. I was dating this older woman and I can't even tell this shit. So I was dating this woman and she was about 78, 79. I go over there. She has another woman over there that's like 73. And I'm looking at them like, what's going on? And she said, I thought you would like 2 of us. And in that very moment, I was like, my throat was paralyzed. I didn't really know what to say. I think when a man thinks that he'll be with 2 women, I don't think his ideal is that it'd be a 79-year-old and a 72-year-old. I don't think that's up most people's imagination or fantasy. So that was a hard one to get out of. I'll say that I'm not going to tell the rest of the story, but you kind of Well, I am a man, and sometimes, you just have to, sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. So I'll leave that there. I'll just leave that one there. You can think what you want. They were two happy people, though, I'll say that. I still get postcards from Christmas on Christmas from them both. Sometimes you have to take an L for the team. Sometimes gotta do what you gotta do. There you go, William. You really do. It's sometimes opportunities come and you just don't know what to do with it. You're like, okay. You know what's hard? Like, it's like you blink, like you don't think this shit is real, and it's like you're supposed to be excited and everything, because they were both obviously excited. And it's like, you blink and think maybe if you blink, a couple more times, the excitement might come. Yeah, the excitement never came. But what were we talking about earlier? We all like the smell of cocaine. So the excitement came. Oh, when I was 24, I was dating this 50-year-old woman. She was 55 or 56. She had the biggest breast in the world. And she would just tell me the most. And this woman was a very religious woman. And she was telling me like how one time, and this is the true story she told me. She said one of the ministers from her church came and said he was going to pray on her breasts that they would go down. I listened to the story. I said, can you tell me that again? She said, yes, Minister so-and-so, when I was younger, he came over to my house and he prayed on my breasts so they would go down. And I thought, did anything else come up? And she kind of looked at me and didn't really answer me, but I'm like, did he pray on them with the bra in or the bra out? And again, she wouldn't answer me. And I'm like, well, it didn't work because she had the biggest breast in the world. And she was the kind of person with big breasts that would always, she liked putting them in your face like all the time. Like you could be sitting there like just eating and then all of a sudden this just giant breast would just hit you in your face. It's like, I don't know if this is the proper time. Like you're a very good cook and I would like to eat a little bit. And I think you got a little bit of breast on, you got a little spaghetti on your breast. And I don't know if that's what you were trying to do, but just look at it. I'll wipe them off. But yeah, she was that kind of big breast lady. But yeah, that had me cracking up when she said the preacher came and prayed to make her breast littler or shrink. I don't think that works. I don't think God looks at your breast and can zap them and make them, smaller. I don't know. I tried to pray on them and make them smaller, but that didn't work either, guys. Obviously, I prayed on them a lot of nights and didn't do any good, guys. I prayed on them a lot. They didn't do good. But yeah, everywhere she went, it was like she opened doors with her breast and stuff. She was just, that was kind of her game. But that was an interesting story I never forgot. And she went to the same church. And no, I'm not gonna. No, never mind. I'll let that one go. I won't bring that one up. That's for another time. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Having fun, and the capers of the old pimp. I guess that's what you'd call it. The capers of an old pimp. I've had even at my age, I've had women 24 and 25 just love the hell out of me. And it's just interesting, that dynamic. It's like remember when Hugh Hefner he was dating the one girl that was with the football player. This motherfucker's older than her grandfather or grandmother. This dude, Hugh was older than chick's grandmother. I dated this girl while I was older than her and her mama. I think she was 20. Her mom, I was like 42, 43. Her mama was 37 or 38, something like that, 39. But I was older than both of them. I was older than her and her mama. And they both love me to death. Sounds like you've been hugging. Funny either. It's just interesting. It's just interesting. It's real interesting. And it's like when you walk around with a younger woman, when you're that old, people look at you like either you're rich or it's got to be something else going on. That's the people's first thought when people see you together, or that's your daughter or whatever. And so that's the kind of thing that you face. And my thing is, I used to just meet 20-some-year-old women. It wasn't like I was seeking these women. It's like that's the women I would meet. And people are like, well, you like younger women. I'm like, I don't know any women my age. And when I was reffing and coaching, I was just meeting young mothers and young people. So it wasn't like I was looking for them. It was like, that is who I tended to meet. So if she's 30, it's like, that is who I met. So and that's a whole nother dynamic in itself. Because you have some young women that feel proud to be with you. They'll give a motherfucker the finger to look at you funny. You know, they'll be like, hey, I got granddad and I'm proud of it. You know, they don't have no shame in their game. You know, they like what they like. More power to you, baby. I like what you like too. So it's a really, really funny kind of thing that goes. Well, thank you. It's something. I put that whip appeal on her. The last girl I had to date, I had to cut her off because as soon as I would leave, she was calling me and telling me how great everything was. It's like, yeah, you just told me that for an hour, and you know, it was okay after the first half hour, but the second half hour part was like, you know, I already knew I was great, so you didn't have to keep telling me over and over again. She kept calling me and texting me and telling me how great it was, and was I coming back to make it great again? I said, this is America, but I'm Trump, and I'm not trying to make that area where you live great again. So I'm probably not going to see you anymore. So she wasn't too happy about that information, you know, and luckily she didn't know where I lived, nor did she know my real name. She is going around Minnesota looking for Cary Grant. That is not my name. So good luck to you, honey. Well, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. 8 Wind is Timeless. And as I always end, no, I'll give it a few more minutes. No. Should I save that? No, I'll save that for another day. And I always end with Eshawn's rap. So I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gangbanger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. I make more money. My pockets are like sunshine. They're always sunny. I never have to worry about going to heaven. That's why I carry a couple 357s. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you all very much. Till we meet again. Thank you.